Today, guys, I am talking about, can you run a successful landscaping business from home? Now, as you may well know, I have my own landscaping business and I have indeed run it from home, and I currently run it from home, as well as I did expand quite rapidly and we moved to a yard and offices. So I've done both, and I'm here to give you a few pitfalls of working from home with a landscaping company, and also to give you a few tips on if you are looking to make the leap and go into new premises, maybe like a yard or a yard and office space. There are three pitfalls that I need to tell you about that I'm currently going through and have been through before, and that is number one, beware, because as you grow it cannot be sustainable, working from home that is. In my last property, we didn't have a driveway, so as soon as we took on our second van, we then had to look at potentially moving to an office space or moving house. We ended up doing both. But the fact is, as you grow, there are obviously more staff and more tools and more rubbish and more vans on the driveway. So you have to be aware that this is going to cause an issue if you haven't got the space at your home, and it may force you to make that decision to move into an office space or a yard or some kind of storage premises to help expand your landscaping business. Pitfall number two is the outside of your home, and possibly even your garden, both in my case, becomes something like a builder's yard. So there is always a lot of rubbish that regularly gets taken away, and there is pallets everywhere and lots of excess product. So again, this is fine because we have the space at this property to do so. However, if space is an issue, that again might mean that you need to look at having a yard or storage area or offices to move into to enable you to grow further. Number three, be aware that although we love our staff here, they do tend to visit at 6 a.m, 7 a.m, 5 p.m, 6 p.m. at night. So you're always getting visitors, dropping the vans back, changing the tools over, loading up the vans for the following day. So be prepared. Obviously that will mean they'll be coming into your home seeing you, which again is no problem. So you will have staff visiting you at those work hours, and as us landscapers start early, it is an early up and rising. So how do you know that you're ready to relocate out of your home and into a premises? Well, again, it's sort of looking at the pitfalls, and if they're starting to become more of a hindrance than something you're accepting in order to grow the landscaping company, then it's kind of time to move on. So if you can't handle having the lads coming around early in the mornings, or if you can't actually fit the vans onto your driveway, or maybe you can't have the products in your driveway space or in your garden anymore, then maybe it's time to look at what you can do about that and how to relocate to somewhere suitable. So tips before you choose to move. Well, the first thing is to research the types of premises you can have. Now, we had a yard and office space combined, which was perfect because we were growing the company very quickly, and it accommodated not only admin and office staff, but also it accommodated having the yard space to keep the vans, the tools and the products there. So that was great. You may find that you only need a yard space or somewhere you can store products and vans. So again, that is also available. So again, it's researching what kind of premises you need to grow your landscaping and or garden design business further, and also looking at what kind of rents are available, whether you can rent or buy, and what the financial implications will be, as well as considering location. Because if the location of your home is pretty convenient for your business, your staff and everything, then looking somewhere close to your home would be obviously the ideal solution. My second tip on this before moving is always run the numbers. We did this in depth with our business coach at the time, and we sat there and went through multiple versions of cash flow forecasting to accommodate the premises that we had found and we wanted. It's also worth noting to look at the terms and conditions, the lease time frame. So if you needed to get out early, can you get out early? what are the fees that you'd have to pay, etc. So that would all go in your cash flow versions of if you were to have the premises versus not. And does that impact on what money you can take? Does it impact on your profits? Or actually, will it enable you to grow so much that it will improve the amount of work you can do and improve your profits that way? And finally, make sure you take advice. So when you're in the business, you can get really, you don't always see the bigger picture. So I always ask for advice from outside sources, people that I trust, other landscapers that I know and have a good relationship with, as well as key people like my accountant and tax advisor, to basically look at it with fresh eyes and from a different perspective. So always seek advice as well before you go ahead and sign the lease or the rental on that property. Another thing to bear in mind is there an option where you can share some space with someone? Could you go in with another company that might only need an office, or they might want to rent part of the yard from you to make it more financially feasible and a bit of a no-brainer? That's another thing that you could consider. So maybe you might want to contact some of your contacts you have to see if that's an option. Or could you just stay at home but build an outside office or a garage or a storage area, or make some adjustments that will enable you to grow your business? So these are all things that I think you should look at when you're thinking about, can you run a landscape business from home? Absolutely you can. We have. But again, we've made changes. We've moved to a bigger property, and it means that we can run it from home, but you still do have to bear in mind that as you grow, you probably will outgrow running your business from home. If you have any questions on this, please feel free to get in touch, info@thelandscaperscircle.co.uk. If you like this video, hit like, hit subscribe. That means you'll never miss one of these videos ever again. So enjoy, guys, and speak soon.